Uh-oh, guess what day it is? Uh-oh, guess what day it is?
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Morning Motivation, your daily dose of inspiration and empowerment. I'm your host, Jamon, and I'm thrilled to have you join us as we kickstart our day with positivity and purpose. So whether you're here to seek motivation, connect with like-minded individuals, or simply get your day started on the right foot, you've come to the right place. Go ahead and hit that like button as you coming in the door. And if you want to buy your boy a cup of coffee, the link is pinned to the top of the chat.
How you doing, Brother Craig? How you doing?
How you doing, Brother Craig?
Hey, Auntie.
Auntie Canada. What's up, yo? How's everybody doing this morning? How's everybody doing this morning? Ooh, had a few things hanging up on me this morning. A little technical glitch, but I think it's good, though. I think it's good. I think we got it worked out. Yeah, all right. Looks like everything is going. For some reason, it was a little slow. So, what are we talking about today? How to tell when God is calling you and giving you an assignment. How to tell when the voice of God is working and moving. How to tell which voice is which. And for me, I think it varies depending on where you are in your life and how much you appreciate it, yo. No working. You know, over the next few weeks, I'm going to be slowly integrating some of the changes because I want to have the changes in place by the 1 year anniversary. So I'm going to be slowly, this is the last show for this week because I got a bunch of stuff happening into the week. But next week, you start seeing some different segments pop in. You'll start seeing a few changes here and there. And getting prepared for the 1 year anniversary and the revamping of the show. But yeah, so sometimes when we're in moments of confusion, when we don't know what voice we're listening to, when everything that we want to do seems to be a struggle, but we know for sure that we're supposed to do a thing, but it's not going easy. It's not working out the way that we planned. And so, as I was saying earlier, for me, it's full circle moments. Because you can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect those dots when you're looking backwards. Unfortunately, it would be great if we can look into the future and see how it all is going to line up. But then I don't think we would do anything, because when you start seeing the stuff that you're going to have to go through, would you really actually even do it at that point? Am my camera losing focus? I think it is a little bit. Oh, I know why. Sometimes it'll pick up this mic. Yeah. It'll focus in on that mic. So, today, I want to start out with a couple of updates. I mean, it's an update, but it still goes right along with it, because I'm talking about that full circle moment, recognizing when something is a calling or an assignment, when God is talking to you. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna work it in. You guys know I told you July was going to be a month of a lot of changes for me personally. So I am in between. I went from having many things to do to one or two things to do. And that came with some pay cuts and some other stuff. And I'm not worried about the pay cuts, not worried about certain things. However, we talked about a few weeks ago, or maybe a month ago now, when your intention changes, when you decide to go a new direction or take a new stream, there's disruptions that happen. Put a one in the chat if you remember that. Put a one if you remember that. When you decide to do something different, chaos kind of ensues in the beginning. And I've been really conscious about, sharing what's been happening in my life ever since we purchased the house. The house we were in before, we had been there for a few years. We had a set schedule, set routine. We knew what bills were due, when they were coming out. We knew the neighbors. We knew the traffic patterns. I mean, we were in a zone in that space. And then we moved. It put us both further away from work. There's construction happening all in the community, so there's people around we don't know and probably will never see more than a couple of times. New traffic patterns. And as we were getting used to that, a new house, my mom moved in, or she moves in. And so now that adds another thing to the pot. And throughout the year, my mom moves in, we finally get her on a routine, on a regimen, and then my father passes. And then in the midst of all this happening, life is still happening all around. But there's a consistent theme that continues to follow, that continues to happen week in, week out. And I started putting the patterns together, and I call it full circle moments. And when I go through times of confusion, when I go through times and spaces where I don't fully understand what I'm supposed to do, or the voice that I'm hearing, or I'm making excuses for not doing the thing I know I should do, I go back to the story of Moses in the Bible. Y'all all know this story, so I'm not going to go and read anything. I'm just going to kind of summarize it for you real quick. We talked about Joseph going into being sold into slavery, going into Potiphar's house, his wife lying on him saying, "Oh, he tried to take all my goodies." Oh, man. Tried to set my boy up. And Potiphar knew she was lying, but what are you going to do? I can't take the word of a slave over the word of my wife, even though I know my wife is lying. It's not a good look. It's not a good look. So Potiphar did the only thing he can do. I'm not going to kill him, but I'm going to have to send him back to the jail and tell the guards to maybe give him some better treatment. But, I can't keep him in the house no more, because I got to live here with this woman, man. I chose her. My bad, bro. So Joseph goes into prison. And the chef comes in. The Pharaoh, the king, has sent him there because he done burnt too many eggs, or he done something wrong. And so he's been sent off into the prison. And he meets Joseph. Joseph interprets some of his dreams. They came true. And so he's elevated back to the head chef. He goes out of prison back into the palace. And then Pharaoh starts having these crazy dreams. Crazy dreams. Well, nobody could interpret it. He called all the wise men. And then the chef remembered, there was this guy I was in jail with. He interpreted all my dreams. Maybe you should call him up and see if he can do the same for you, Pharaoh. So he does. He calls Joseph. Joseph goes to the palace and he tells him about his dream. Joseph predicts the dream, breaks it down, tells him that it's going to be a severe famine in the land for about 7 years. But before that, it's going to be 7 years of plenty. So what you will probably need to do is store up a tenth or 20%. Whatever this amount is, store this up for the next 7 years. And when the famine happens, Egypt will be saved from the famine. And guess what? That's what happened. Joseph was given favor, position in the palace, position in the government. Everybody considered him as one of the saviors of the land. When people came from all around to Egypt, they could come and get relief. Joseph turned Egypt into basically the UN. Does anybody notice that my sync is off? Does everything look right to y'all? I just got a message saying the sync might be off. On my end, it looks good, so it might be an internet thing. But anywho, and so Joseph's name is popular throughout the land. He gets his dad and his brothers. They all come to Egypt, and the Bible talks about how the sons of Jacob, the 12 tribes of Israel, basically flourished. They were multiplying rapidly through the land. The work they did was blessed. They had favor. But then, as they do, them times change. Times change. Nothing stays the same forever. Pharaoh died. The king died. And the new Pharaoh, appreciate that, Auntie. A new Pharaoh came. And this Pharaoh didn't know Joseph. Didn't have the same respect for Joseph. It's almost like when you graduate high school in your town, and everybody knows you. They've watched you grow for years. They're proud of you for the person you've become, or you was the man or the woman, you know what I'm saying, in the community. Everybody look to you for answers and solutions. But then you go off to college, you go off to military, you do a bid, but you away for some reason. And then there's a new generation of kids that's becoming young adults who don't know you. They don't have no respect for you because they weren't there when you were doing your thing. To them, you just that old head that's trying to keep things in the olden times. Shout out to the old heads in the olden days. Well, Egypt got a little concerned because there were so many sons of Abraham and Isaac and Jacob. And they were prosperous. And they started thinking, if we ever went to war with a neighbor, I don't think they would rock with us. I think they would join forces with these other people. They would pillage our land and they would leave it barren. So they started forcefully enslaving these Jewish people. They started to enslave them, giving them hard taskmasters, building structures and making bricks and putting them under very heavy labor. But they still flourished. They still grew. Everything they did was good. It kept working out. Then Pharaoh said, you know what? Call all the midwives here. Hey, midwives, when these ladies start having these babies, if they're a girl, keep them. But if they're boys, kill them. That's what you call heavy-handed justice, right? And there's no justice in that. That's called fear. Fear. And we all know if you live in fear, you're going to make some bad decisions. If fear drives your emotions, if fear drives your logic, if fear drives your culture, you're in for a tough road. This is America. So, the midwives refused to do it. The midwives refused to do it. And so, long story short, Moses' is born. His mom don't want her son killed, so she puts him in this basket and seals it so water can't get into it and floats it down the river. Has her oldest daughter to follow it to see where it ends up. And it ends up in the house of Pharaoh. And Pharaoh's daughter, sister, I think it's daughter. Pharaoh's daughter finds the baby and decides, you know what, this is a beautiful baby. He's scared. I'm going to feed him, but I can't. So, hey, call one of them Hebrew women over here to nurse this baby. And of course, Moses' sister said, I know a lady who could do it, which was Moses' mom. So Moses' mom nursed him until he became old enough. And once he became old enough, Pharaoh's daughter took her into the palace. And there Moses lived in the lap of luxury. Living good. Living good. Talking about full circle moments right now. I know I'm kind of building this, but you'll see where I'm going in a minute. So just follow me. Talking about full circle moments. And so Moses is growing up in the palace, and Moses knows that he's Hebrew. His mom taught him while she was nursing him. Taught him about his God. Taught him about his people. And so one day, as a prince of Egypt, he's watching an overseer unfairly punish one of his people. So Moses goes and confronts the man, ends up killing him. Buries him in the sand. And then the next day, I promise you, the next day, Moses sees two Hebrew slaves arguing. And he goes to them and says, why y'all acting like this, man? Y'all supposed to be working together, sticking together. And they said, oh, I'm sorry. Who made you the boss? Oh, you gonna kill us too? Ninjas. He's probably one of the ones he protected. But out of fear, Moses fled because of these guys knew. Maybe other people knew. Maybe they told some other people. Maybe word got around, and now I'm going to be in trouble. And so once Pharaoh found out what happened, he sent his men after Moses, but of course they can't find him. He disappeared to the backside of the desert, out in this place called Midian. He rescues or helps out some ladies that were herding their flock and finds favor with their father. Marries the daughter, has a son, his own son, and he's living his life like a tent on the backside of the desert. And then one day while he was out, he saw a bush that was on fire, but it wasn't burning. He got closer and God said, hey, take off them shoes before you come over here. This is hollow ground. And they had a whole conversation. And God told him, Moses, my people, I've heard their cry. And so I'm going to send you to Egypt to deliver them. Full circle moment. Moses was in Egypt, a prince. He killed a man and fled. And now he's being sent back to Egypt as a savior. Full circle moment. You see, when God is speaking to you, there's a call that never leaves you. I remember Health Talk. He was talking about, he showed me this article of him when he was 16 years old and the things he was doing for the kids in the community. And the paper came out and did a whole article about it. Fast forward 20 years. Fast forward 30 years. what is he doing? He's back doing those things that he did way back when. Way back when, doing the exact same thing. You see, when there's a calling on your life, it lives in the back of your mind when it's not in the front, in the forefront. When you go through stuff and you get discouraged and you kick it to the side and you said, I'm done with this. Yeah, you might be done with it, but it ain't done with you. Put a one in the chat if you understand what I'm saying right now. If you have experienced this. If you have experienced this feeling, this sensation. I never bought much into coincidence. Although my whole life has been riddled with them. It's been full of getting this piece over here, not understanding it, but now all of a sudden as I'm getting ready to throw it out, something pops up here that I need this for. If I don't have this, I can't do that. Like, oh man, I'm so glad I didn't throw that out. What a lucky coincidence. I ran into somebody who was looking for the exact same thing I was trying to get rid of. Or I've ran into somebody who needed what I'm good at. It's not really a coincidence. You think it's a coincidence that you have that feeling in your stomach when a certain person walks in the room for the first time? No coincidences. I really don't believe in them. I really don't believe in them. Because I think we're predestined to live a certain life, to do certain things. I think what's supposed to happen is happening. That's a wrap. I'm not gonna go down a rabbit hole. That's a whole nother thing. Now what we're talking about today? We're talking about hearing and understanding that call. When intention comes, disruption happens. When I make up my mind to do a thing, it shakes up everything else around it. It's almost as if something is trying to say, do you really want this? So Moses hears God through the bush. And he's listening intently. You want me to do what? Go back to Egypt and say what? Tell him who sent me? What? She's not. Nah, man. He came up with every excuse in the book. I don't talk well. I'm a little slow. What if they don't believe me? He had every excuse in the book. God finally said, you know what? I'm going to send your brother. He going to be your mouthpiece. You tell him what to say. You not getting out this assignment, bruh. And that's why certain things don't leave us. Because it's God ordained. It's God sent. It's heaven sent. It's a mission that we're supposed to fulfill. And only we can fulfill it in the time that it should be fulfilled. That's why sometimes we make the same mistake over and over and over again. Because we don't learn the lesson. In order to get here, there's a lesson that has to be understood. And so we keep bumping our head up against this wall, wondering why it's not working out. When the moment we understand the lesson, it no longer becomes an obstacle. It no longer becomes an obstacle. And so that's where I am today. And my stuff has been a perfect storm. Although it is not a coincidence. From the buying of the house. And the house happened, as some people might say, it was a coincidence. Oh, well, we was looking at properties in August and in September. Then the end of September, we see a house. It's like, it's a new build. It's probably going to be a while before it's done. But, let's explore it. They come back and tell us, hey, everything looks good. We need all this verification. Your credit scores need to raise about maybe 30, 40 points to get this particular rate. Because interest rates were like 7, 8, 9%. And that's high for a 30-year loan. Whew, that's ridiculously high. So if you want to get a better interest rate, you got to get it to here. And piece after piece, they started falling in place. And we ended up getting a great deal, a great house. Everything, it worked out. It was a coincidence, right? Enough room for family, and just so happens my mom was getting into a space where she could no longer really live on her own. Guess what? She has a whole room and a bathroom that's pretty much exclusively hers. Right? Some would say a coincidence, right? Maybe. But let's go a little deeper in this thing. I have been debating on if I was going to continue in the freelance space, in the video production space. I have been debating on if I was going to continue into the parenting space that I'm in, into the fatherhood space that I'm in. Because one of these things paid better than the rest of them. So how do I cut off my main source of income for the passion project? Well, a coincidence happened, and now there's an opportunity to add another program that's more to the one I wanted, and there's an opportunity to make even more money doing that program than the previous one. Coincidences. At the same time, I have started a company, Father Figure Institute, that falls right in line with the work that I'm doing now. Another coincidence. What is happening here, right? My story. Yo, D-Rob's in the building. What's good, young lion? Another coincidence. It was one thing after the next thing, and I started making excuses. Well, if I quit the job, then it's going to be tight over here. But if I do this, then my wife might be upset because we're not going to be able to do this or do that. Then I said, babe, this is what I'm going to do. And we're going to have to buckle down for this period right here. She said, what up, Half Talk? She said, babe, I trust you. Do what you need to do. I got you. What another coincidence. Every excuse I made for why I shouldn't do a thing, there's something else that will pop up. There's another answer, another solution. Something else would pop up and it would take away the excuse. It would take away the excuse. Oh, man.
Hey, Auntie.
Auntie getting love this morning. Man, I tell you, it's been one thing after the next. And by a show of hands, well, not show of hands, put a 1 in the chat if you agree with this statement. Put a 2 in the chat if you disagree with this statement. The moment you find your lane, or the moment you discover your purpose, it's supposed to get easier. Put a 1 if you agree with that. Put a 2 if you disagree with that. From the moment you understand the call, the moment you understand the purpose, the mission, it's supposed to get easier. Put a 1 if you agree with that. Put a 2 if you disagree with that. D-Rob said that East Coast, that Eastern time change. Yeah, man, you get an extra hour in there, don't you? Get that extra hour. Yes, sir. D-Rob says it's actually harder. So that would be a 2. D-Rob disagrees. It's not easier. Auntie Canada says 2. Okay, the 2s are coming in. So y'all are wise. You guys have seen this a time or two, right? That chick yo says 1 and 2. There are exceptions to the rule. There are. Because what we don't count on is it took us so long to get to the purpose that we think, okay, now I'm on code, I'm on mission. It's about to be a cakewalk. And sometimes it is in the very beginning. In the early stages, things just fall into place, giving you more confirmation, right? But when it gets down to doing the work, there's a whole new skill set you have to learn, whole new habits you have to put in place, new environments you have to maneuver as you are letting go of everything that was comfortable, everything that was familiar. Because Moses went on down to Egypt, told Pharaoh, God said, let his people go. Pharaoh said, whatever, get up out of here. D-Rob says, I've had to adjust time. I've had to get used to traffic, meeting new people. Said, living with my uncle. They are very neat and clean. Bruh. Woo, bruh. I'm gonna tell you, bro, when you move into somebody else's environment, I don't care for how brief a time it is. Unless it's a day or two. Day or two, maybe a week. Anything longer than a week, you realize you don't know people until you live with them. Health Talk says, 2, that's when the real work begins. But God is not going to give it to you until you are ready. Exactly. Exactly. D-Rob said, but I came out here to grow. So if organization is a part of my growth, I'm here for it. And that's it. That's the journey. It truly is one day at a time. One day at a time. You put your best foot forward each and every day. You ask for forgiveness when it's necessary. You give grace when it's necessary. But you do your best every day that you can. Because before long, sooner than you think, it won't be a new thing anymore. Sooner than you think, taking off your shoes before you walk on those floors will be a habit. Man, it took my wife trying to get me to take my shoes off in the house since I know her. Babe, you can take your shoes off. Nope. Because I'm rebellious. I'm rebellious, but I'm a little rebellious. But I mean, I have reasons for it. You know, I'm not just being rebellious just to be rebellious. I was like, damn, here's to my new life. Yes, sir. Excuse me, sir, your shoes. But for me, the moment I signed that doggone 30-year mortgage, and my wife said, hey, babe, if we dare decarbonize them, guess who's replacing them? Shoes came off instantly. I bought some house shoes now. So I still wear shoes in the house, but these shoes don't leave the house. And guess what? I do it now without even thinking about it. It's a new skill, new something I had to learn, a new mindset I had to adopt. But once you get on mission, it gets harder. But because your skill set, your gifts, it's a slippers at the door. I got Crocs. I feel like I'm still walking outside. Said it makes sense to take them off. I understand carpet, but they have wood floors. Yeah, man. Think about this. Let me drop this on you. This is my wife example she gave me years ago. She said, "Hey, babe, you know how you get out the car when you at the gas station and you pump gas?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "Have you ever looked down at the cement underneath those pumps? You see all the old food and the fuel drops, and you ever just walked on the sidewalk and seen people's dogs out there, and you walk through the grass, you picking up all kind of fecal matter?" She says, "At any given time, you're gonna have all kind of bacteria and dirt and grime on your shoes, and once that stuff gets in the carpet, it's there. But also once it get on those hardwoods, it's there." And you're transferring them hardwoods all over the house. And then if you walk through the house barefooted, you're getting those in. And now you might develop some kind of a skin fungus or skin disease or whatever, because you don't know what is in these petroleum oils and what these dogs is, this fecal matter that you're walking through. I mean, she painted this picture and I'm just like, fine, I'm just going to be... Oh, man. Yo. But people have their preferences. And when you come into people's spaces, it's disrespectful not to abide by how they live in their space. Yeah, it did make me think, because now when I go get gas at certain gas stations, I look down, I'll be like, bruh. So I'm trying to step around around these things, or you walk in these stores and they done mop the floors with dirty mop water and they still wet, and so now that stuff sticking to your stuff, and then you hop in your car and you got dirt on the floor from just a dirty floorboard, and then you tracking all that dirt and stuff right in your house. So I was like, yeah, I get it now. It took me a while. I think what really got me though was I got to replace it. I can't call nobody to come replace these carpets no more. Now it's on me. So I'm like, I'm gonna preserve these jokers for as long as I can. Perspective, a new view. And so the people of Egypt, I'm about to say Idris. The people of Egypt. Say a man, a few words. So rules are rules. I'm excited about this new season I'm in. I'm excited for you too, bro. I can't even lie. I'm excited for you too. I love to see people win. I love to see people following their dreams, going through what they got to go through to get where they got to get. Because that's what life is about. We only get a few years on this planet, in this existence. We only get a few. And so I refuse to spend mine just sitting around looking, watching paint dry. No, I need to leave an impact. I need to leave my mark. I need to get out of me all the gifts that were stored up inside of me. I need to get them out. I feel called and led to do it. And so when I think about my life, and y'all, if those of you who read my book and those of you who listened for a little while, Gerardo said, carpet has a 5-year lifespan. Well, mine gonna get 10. We get 10 out of these jokers, because I ain't walking on them barefoot. I mean, these good old house Crocs gonna do it. And I think about the sum of my life, and I think about everything that I had to go through, that I had to endure. I remember somebody asked me one time, why are you grateful for the hard times you had? Why are you thankful for those? It's a full circle moment, and I'm looking at it now. Father Figure Institute, it's a organization or an institution that's going to give men the training they need, give men the resources they need, give men the the networks that they need to become the best versions of themselves physically, mentally, financially, and relationally. It drives me bonkers when I see children who grew up without a father. When I see co-parents who can't get along and they playing these petty games, not realizing that you playing a petty game in the moment, but you hurting this child for a lifetime. And I hold men to a higher standard because it's our gifting to be providers and protectors. Biologically, we're supposed to do those things. And so it starts with us. Leadership is service. Leadership isn't being served. And so some of us have gotten it a little misconstrued because the culture is toxic. And so with Father Figure Institute, everything that I had to go through, it's no coincidence that I want to be in a company or create a company that helps families. It's no coincidence. As a matter of fact, as exciting as it is to throw off the chains of working for other people, to throw off the the mindset of not being relegated to only being able to do this at this time, go here, do this for this amount of money. It's exciting. It's also scary. Just like with my carpets, if I don't make it happen, if I don't go out and do the things I need to do, my family is not going to eat. I'm not going to be able to provide for them. So as exciting and as scary as it is, it's also a calling. And if you will, it's not just a calling. It's my life's work. Everything that I endured as a child, everything I endured as a teen, everything as I endured as a young adult, it has prepared me to be the person now that can go back and teach, that can go and set people free from whatever hang-ups they have, why they can't partner with other people, why they struggle with children. It's my life's work, and I didn't even know it. And it wasn't no coincidence. It was always part of the plan. It was always in the cards. I think about when I graduated high school, I didn't have a career field that I wanted. When I graduated, they was like, what do you want to do when you grow up? I'm like, I don't know, make money. I don't know. I don't want to be a doctor or an attorney. I don't want to build bridges. I don't want to be a social worker. I don't want to work in a warehouse. I don't want to drive trucks. It was nothing I wanted to do except one thing. Who know what that one thing is? Who could tell me? What was the one thing I wanted to do when I graduated high school? Do anybody know me that well? What was the one thing I wanted? Health Talk says, we also must remember that God doesn't waste anything because we need to grow through everything on our journey to continue to elevate. Facts. Facts. And it's so simple. All right, D-Rob, you got me there. Look, D-Rob, boy, I tell you, boy. D-Rob does have me there. I loved football because it was the only profession I saw that I get to hit people as hard as I could and not get in trouble for it. But there's only half right, D-Rob. When I was younger, I wanted to do that, and I was gearing up for it. But when around 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade, I realized I wasn't growing anymore. and everybody around me kept going higher and higher, taller and taller, I realized, yeah, that NFL dream may not be a thing. It may not be happening for me. And so I didn't have a career feel in mind. No, none of that. But the one thing I wanted more than anything was to be a better father than the one I had. I wanted to be a better man than a lot of the men that I saw. Who knew that was gonna be the lane that I eventually ended up in? God did it. God did. But he was the only one. All the struggles, all the therapy, all the sleepless nights has all been leading me to one place. A place where I am uniquely qualified in. That's right. Auntie Karen said, God. Yeah. And so I'm having this full circle moment in a lot of different ways. A lot of different ways. The woman who cared for me, who birthed me into this world, is now reaping the rewards. Her firstborn son is now doing the same thing for her. Full circle moment. The company that I started my video production journey with, I was in school for journalism. I wasn't thinking about filming, producing anything. I was just going to be a writer. I was going to write a bunch of books. It's also the company that I'm ending my professional career with. My mentor took me under her wing, taught me everything that she knew. She invested in me. And then she ran into some health challenges. And I was able to go back and take those skills back to her and help keep her company operating while she was down. Full circle moments. I'm telling y'all, there are no coincidences. Truly are not. And the one goal that I had above all goals, I'm now almost 50 years on this planet, and I'm just getting around to it because now I'm qualified to do it. D-Rob says, "You're not lying. I experienced bad coaching in high school and college, which led me to wanting to be a coach." He said, "Ooh, I have a story." I bet you do, bro. I bet you do. I done been in them locker rooms, bro. I know how it go. I know how some coaches be plotting because they got their favorites. Or for some reason they just don't like you and they want to stop your shine. I get it, bro. I know. I've been there. I've been there. So when you find yourself going through stuff, it's all going to work out for your good. It's all part of the plan. It's all part of the assignment. You won't be able to see exactly what it's going to be up front, but as time goes by, you'll look back and you'll say, had I not done this, I wouldn't have been ready for that. And if that hadn't happened over there, I thought it was a setback at the time. But it's worked out better for me that did happen. Full circle moments for me is how I know that God has given me an assignment. And so going forward, when the tough times come, I don't worry about how it's going to happen. I just take the necessary steps to get the outcomes that I want. I'm not here sitting on my hands saying, okay, Lord, open the windows, the floodgates of heaven, and let it rain on me. Rain, make it. I ask God to make it rain on me. Okay, God, this is the mission that you're calling me to do. This is what I feel like I should be doing right now to get these results. So I'm gonna set out every day to make this happen. And if you put me here, I know you're gonna keep me. So I got faith. So I'm gonna act like it's already done. I'm just gonna start doing it. And when the bill come in the mail and it says, hey, you're past due, I'm like, hey God, I need you to take care of that. I'm gonna sit around the table. He's over here when you get to it. I don't worry about it anymore. And guess what? It always work out. A new client will call and be like, hey man, I almost started singing, bro, but I don't know if it's COVID or what, but my respiratory system, it ain't as strong right now. So I ain't want to, open the floodgates of heaven, let it rain. But anyway, I don't worry about it no more because the how is none of my concern. And that's what gets most of us distracted and off balance. We start worrying about how things are going to happen instead of worrying about what we need to do. Hold on me. Oh man, I know, right? But that's how you know. That's how you tell when God is calling you. It's this subtle voice in the back of your mind that never leaves you. It just sits on you and you feel it in your heart. You feel it in your spirit. Opportunities come and you might not even take it. You may not even take it because it's like, it feel like it's too easy. Oh nah, or it's scary. I gotta uproot myself and change and go into a different time zone. I gotta go live with some people until I get myself established. I don't ever want to do that, bro. I'm gonna just wait. And then you almost talk yourself out of it. Sometimes we do. But that's where I am, man. That's what's happening. So before we get about here, I want to give you a couple of updates. At the end of Monday's show, and the show ended a few minutes early because I wasn't feeling it. I felt like I was done. And as we ended the show, I'm like, all right, man, I see you guys on Wednesday. As I'm hitting the end button, I see EMS riding by the house, and they stopped. I see EMS riding by the house, and they stopped and backed up to our door. My mom normally goes outside and sits on the porch for a couple of hours in the morning just to be in nature and to get warm sometimes because the house be a little chilly for her. And my first thought was, oh no, my mom must have passed out on the porch or something, and the neighbor called 911 because B had just left and I'm upstairs, so I can't see the porch. I don't know what's going on. So I'm running down these stairs, and I get midway down, and she's walking past the stairs. She looks at me with this little on her face, goes to the front door, opens the front door, walks back to the couch, and she left the front door open, walks back to the couch, sits on the couch, and she started kind of moaning a little bit. Oh, like that painful moan. Oh. And so I'm looking like, what is happening here? I said, did you call 911? She said, I pressed my life alert thing and they coming to see about me. I said, okay. What? And then it hit me. I know exactly what's happening right now. And so the paramedics come in with their bag and they're asking all these questions and they're checking her pulse and her temperature, and they're trying to get understanding of what's happening. She says, I'm just in pain. I'm in pain all over. And it was like, okay, what's going on? And she's leaving out one very important piece. And they're trying to get it out of her, but she's not saying it. And so I'm sitting on the stairs just looking because I know what's happening. So I stood up. I said, excuse me. I said, my mom, she's in hospice right now. She has stage 4 cancer, and she's in pain all the time. And then the EMS person looked at me and said, oh, as if there was an acknowledgement there. So let me shortcut it for y'all. If you've ever had any kind of surgical procedure and you had to take medicine at a certain amount of time, all right, D-Rod, bro. Hey, August 3rd, man, meet up. August 3rd. It'll be information on Facebook, but just put it in your ear right now. August 3rd. Pause. It's gonna be the meetup day. So she's in so much pain, and if you've ever gotten behind on your pain medication regimen, it's excruciating pain. Just trying to get caught up, and it prolongs. And because she is on so many medications, she'll take naps and she'll doze off and she'll go past the time when the medicine's supposed to be taken, even though we have alarms set because we are not both always here, during the day. So we make sure we set alarms and try to call sometimes when we think about it to take her meds. And so she needed relief so bad that she called the EMS people. They came. Good stuff, good stuff. So it was a shock to see EMS pulling me in my yard. All kind of thoughts went through my mind, and I don't know what it feels like to be in that much pain. I don't know what it feels like to stop praying for health and strength, but the prayers go the other way. But the last 2 days has been, Tuesday was a good day. We got her caught up and got her head. Today, I think we're off to a good start because we ended last night on a good start. So thank you for keeping Mama P in y'all prayers. August 3rd, I was trying to give multiple dates, but the only day that actually works for my schedule is August 3rd. So there won't be no need for a poll. August 3rd is gonna be the day. We've already started planning with some activities and stuff. We just gonna do an RSVP, so we'll know how many spots to reserve and the cost of some of the activities that we want to do. So that'll be coming out. We'll put that in the Facebook page sometime by first of the week next week. And also, Kay, sis, you gotta have a come to Jamon meeting, sis. I heard you got jokes. Kay found out that I'm, almost unemployed over here. Ain't gonna welcome me to the housewife life. I said, oh, you got jokes, sis. I see. But anyway, it's all good. New journeys, new things are happening for all of us. And when you hit the spaces where you keep running up against this wall and you want to quit, but there's something that keeps making you hold on. There's something that's, it won't let you go. You can't let it go. That may be God giving you your assignment. That may be your burning bush moment. Appreciate your health talk. I didn't know that. Oh man. Okay. I tell you, boy. Life is life, man. We all got a bunch of things happening. But that's exactly what it is. Things are always happening, and we have to pick and choose those things that matter most to us. We have to live the life that we are proud of, that we're excited about. And it's hard to do that if you're not on purpose. And if God has placed something in your heart to do and you're not doing it, you're not on purpose. You're running around the desert, afraid of your own shadow, afraid that Pharaoh is still going to send people to kill you for what you did. But when you accept the assignment and walk in purpose, yes, it's going to be hard. Yes, it's going to be difficult. But guess what? Everything that matters is in your favor. God, your family, the network that you're supposed to be a part of, they're all working in your favor. You're becoming the person that you need to have and to be and to hold all those things. Full circle moments is just a hint that you're on the right track. And don't begrudge, man, I wish I would have did this earlier. I wish I would have done this 20 years ago. You wasn't the person that could have done it 20 years ago. It was just a seed. Now the seed is mature. Now it's time to go. You're not behind your peers like you think you are. You're right on schedule for your purpose, for your plan. Unless you just keep walking away and keep walking away. But guess what? If you're walking away, it's not time yet. Not for you. I don't think it's never too late, but I think we get a lot of rope. I truly believe we get a lot of rope. So, thank you so much for joining me this morning. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel for more empowering content. Don't forget to share this video with anyone who can use a little morning motivation. Keep striving for greatness. Be kind to yourselves always. And as Health Talk would say, have a great day no matter what. Y'all be blessed. And I won't see you again until Monday. But new pieces coming, new segments coming. Thank you guys. Have a great weekend. We will talk soon on Facebook. Peace.